Hi, this is Tom and Kim Challan with Priority Networker, teaching how to create wealth while having a life. And we're so blessed and so excited to have Tayla Eliza here today. She's one of the best at creating wealth while having a life.
She is.
She is going to drop some nuggets, some awesome tips and strategies on how she leverages social media to build her team in network marketing and through her brand online.
Cool.
So when she speaks, we listen. And so tune in right now and get rid of your distractions and listen to all the nuggets she's about ready to drop right now.
That's awesome. So first question of the day, how long have you been in building teams in network marketing?
2009.
2009.
Yeah.
And we got to know, of course, the standard question is, it's always been smooth, right? Like from day one, you were a six-figure earner your first year. And I don't know any of these answers.
Yes.
Yes. So talk about your first year. What was it like? What was it like in business your first year?
So first year, so it wasn't like 2009, social media didn't exist like it exists today, right?
Yeah.
So in 2009, it was belly to belly, home parties and flip charts. Like we didn't even have PowerPoint. Like that was, I was in the transition of
Wait,
like
you did a flip chart before? Tayla Eliza did a flip chart.
Oh yeah.
That's crazy because you think like she's always been digital.
No. I flipped the chart.
You flipped the chart.
I was a mad woman flipping that chart. No, literally because I was in finance before that. And so when I found network marketing, or I should say it found me, right? And I had people sitting in front of me that were making double the income that I was making in like a quarter of the amount of time in the day. I was smart to listen to what they were saying. And they said, you need to get a flip chart and here's what you do. And that's just how we built. And I was coachable. Like my mom taught me well, like success leaves clues, follow what successful people do. And there's a chance that you'll get what they have, right?
Yep.
So they told me get a flip chart. I was all in, like full case, auto ships. Like I was all in with my business. I think that makes a big difference is whether you're treating your business like a business or a hobby, it will pay you like such, right?
So good.
So then, they say get a flip chart. So I said, I'm going to get a flip chart. And so I flipped the chart for like a year. And
By the way, I think we should explain to some of the millennials
and I sucked at it.
What's a flip chart. I know that sounds crazy, but I've learned with my daughters.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. No. I'm going to let Tom explain what a flip chart is. What's a flip chart, Tom?
Yeah, a flip chart is a PowerPoint presentation that you might see on a Zoom or a webinar, but it is in front of someone and it's a piece of papers like this.
Like sitting at a table with them in front of you.
And you're like, okay, our company is this and our product is this and this is how you get paid and that's a flip chart.
I actually had a big one though. It was like
a big easel type thing?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I was all in, you guys. For real. I was all in.
So you look like you do everything well. So you said you were great at the flip chart?
No, I sucked at the flip chart. I sucked so really bad at the flip chart. I just remember practicing. So I think this is like a skill that is overlooked in our profession. It's like people think like they just go out there and make $1 million.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to make $1 million or six figures, whatever your goal is, you need to practice that skill. So when I was a finance specialist, was I amazing at like selling insurances and warranties and all that right out the gate? Like think about the career that you guys are in. Are you right out the gate amazing at it? Right? Are you right out the gate amazing at being parents, or do you have to like practice that skill, right? So I remember being in front of the mirror and even like in my shower, like talking how I would talk, listening back. I would record. I had a BlackBerry at the time.
So good.
And so I would have an hour commute to and from work when I had a job. And I would grab my BlackBerry, and so you can grab your smartphone if you don't have a BlackBerry anymore, and you just hit record on the voice record, and I would voice record me doing the activities of inviting, presenting, closing. And I used to follow a lot of Todd Falcone's stuff with his Fearless Networker, and I would listen to how he'd do the calls, and then I would go back and record myself doing it. And I was awful in the beginning. Like I would listen to these recordings, and I was like, oh my, I sound like that. And then I'd do it again. And then I would do it again. And the more I did it, the more comfortable I got, but also the better I got at it, right?
How many presentations did you do before you enrolled one person? Do you have a rough idea?
I was super blessed with a supportive family. So like when I took my mom's credit card and said, you're signing up, like she just did.
Okay, other than mom. And family.
Other than mom,
like,
so like
someone
somebody,
you just met or someone through a referral or something else.
I was doing it that week. Like I was enrolling. Like I know there's a lot of people out there that have stories. Like we went 0 for 100, and I just like. And it's different for people that have influence versus don't have influence. So to compare yourselves to other people is just not fair.
Yeah.
I had influence because I had a very affluent career at a very young age. So when I told people to jump, they just did. Or I just took their credit card.
Well, here's the. let me ask you about this though.
Yeah.
Was it your career that gave you influence, or was it your influence that gave you that career? Or
Great
both?
question.
Because if you weren't confident, you think you could have got that career.
Yeah, I guess so. Like that's a great way to look at it. I needed the but to be honest, I wasn't confident.
Okay.
I just went through the motions that I knew. What I knew was I knew what my dream lifestyle wanted. I wanted that to be. I knew what I wanted that to be.
Okay.
So there were things that I was not comfortable with and I was not confident with, but I would just do it anyways because I really had that vision of dream lifestyle.
Yeah.
Ever since I was ever since I was in grade 1, people would say, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And I said, "Lawyer." Like grade 1, who says a lawyer, right? And why did I say a lawyer? It was because I wanted to make a lot of money.
So good.
Right.
And that was the only thing that I knew that like equaled a lot of money as far as careers go, right?
Yeah.
I definitely don't want to be a lawyer. No offense to any lawyers out there, but that is a lot of work, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of schooling. So honestly, like I just knew that growing up in the family that I grew up in, like my parents do well now, but when we were growing up, we had no money. And we were always told, like, we can't afford it, we can't afford it, we can't afford it.
Right.
And I just always in my head was like, I never ever want to not be able to afford it. Like, I want to be able to afford things. Like, I don't want to hear that. And so just that mission, whether I was not confident or I was uncomfortable, I would just do the things that I was uncomfortable to do.
And go ahead, baby.
I was just going to say, so you literally mastered walking, like feeling the fear. Did you have fear or you're just like, I'm doing this?
Yeah, I hated prospecting. I'm not gonna lie, I hated and so here's how I changed hating prospecting, because you actually have to it's part of it's like the thing we do in our business, right? It's not, and it's also not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
So you gotta get good at prospecting in life in general. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it scared the bejesus out of me to go up to somebody because I'm introverted, like at my core.
Really?
Yeah, weird, but I am, and I can turn my extrovert off, but I can turn it on. But going up to like a stranger and initiating conversation with them was for business felt disingenuous to me. It felt like it just didn't, it felt icky to me. So I had to change the word prospecting to making friends. And I had to think about it like this, like when you're an adult, let's just face it, it's harder to find friends when you're an adult, right? Because you're going to school when you're a kid or whatever, you're making friends and then you got the friends circle, right?
Yeah.
So I just used network marketing and I had to refocus my brain. I used network marketing as a way for me to make friends. And so I was like, well, the worst that can happen is they say no, but we use that connection to stay connected. And the worst thing that could happen is maybe I make a new cool friend. Because not everybody I talk to is in my business.
It's really good.
Right?
Right.
But I've got a lot of friends who I have prospected that are now my friends.
So just go out and make some friends.
Make
Make some friends.
So I changed it.
good.
I had to change it.
It's so good.
But I sucked in the beginning. I sucked royally. I think my first year, I did build up an income to about $50,000 a year, which is not bad. I definitely worked the business to get it to grow to that. But you know, I plateaued from there, and that's actually what brought me onto social media. To be honest, so yeah.
So let's talk about that transition.
Yeah.
So what? what was the transition like going from 100% traditional building network marketing, building teams to doing it on social?
Yeah, so back then, social was not as accepted as it is today. Today, network marketing companies actually have training to teach you how to build on social media. That's what it's a thing now, right?
Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't a thing when I started in 2010. I started to build my business online. I was outcasted from my team. I was not asked to speak anymore or share my story on stage anymore because I was not following the quote unquote system. And I just saw other people like there was a small amount of people online doing what I wanted to do, like find prospects online using social media, attraction marketing. And I was like, well, if they can do it, I know I can do it and I can figure it out. So even though I was like, you know, my upline was like, what are you doing? Didn't really respect what I was doing anymore. And all that, I just was like, I'm just going to make this happen. And then I ended up getting results. And then we ended up recruiting so many people so fast into the team that I couldn't train everybody properly. And I felt bad about that. It was a quality problem to have. So then we found a solution and I went back to my upline. She's like, well, what are you doing? And I'm like, I don't really know what I'm doing right now. Let me figure that out. But people are like now joining so fast. And I said, hey, can you start training these people? Like so they can get trained properly. I'll bring them in, you train.
Wow.
And so that was
and they were
how
traditional builders.
Yeah.
They were not online marketers, attraction
No,
marketers. They
no.
were traditional
belly to
relationship
belly.
prospecting out and about
Yeah.
or friend finding
Friend finding.
out and about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
So you instantly had success generating leads online for your business.
No, no. Is instant success? It's like an oxymoron, right?
It sounds
Yes.
like you just started, like it worked fast.
No, I mean, I would say you guys, I invested probably like $12,000 of money that I didn't have into training, coaching, and programs to learn online marketing. And it took me 12 months of, like 10 to 12 months of fumbling around to try to figure out how to make the online thing work.
Yeah.
And today there's a lot of training on this, and back then there was not. So I was really figuring it out by myself. But I was like, you know, I need to figure this out. Like if other people are doing it, I can do it.
Big time.
That's just what I saw.
Right.
And there are more people, like if you think about going into Starbucks, there's like how many people at any given time in Starbucks? 20.
Yeah.
You go on Facebook, there's 2.some million or billion now.
Yeah.
Right? So the opportunity is there. You just need to how to figure out and keep it simple
So
and keep
good.
it duplicatable as well in your team, right?
So, okay, you brought us into your business. You brought a brand new person into your business. What would you do and what do you do right now? Do you immediately say, build your brand, get your Facebook, get your social, get your Facebook ads, get your attraction marketing on, or do you still teach them, hey, connect with people you care about, make friends?
Get out your flip chart.
What do you do now with new people?
No more flip charts. I think I have nightmares of flip charts. This is a great question. This is a really great question.
That's a great question.
So we have a new blog post episode coming out on this actually, specifically because this is such a good question. I think there is so much bull crap out there on you can just build on social media, never talk to people. Come on, okay, we're in network marketing. So here's what I do. And this is important if you're an aspiring leader or you've got to get in the trenches like you want your team to be in the trenches. Okay?
So good.
I have two things that I talk about all the time. I say passive prospecting, active prospecting.
Passive.
Right? The goal is to get to passive, just like to get to the passive income, right? That's the goal, that's the promised land, but you have to actively do stuff until you get there.
Yeah.
So the thing is, and I just started in, I restarted in a network marketing company, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't bring my entire team from the other company over because I wanted the story that's like, here's exactly what I did to get to here.
From scratch.
And then, there's kind of, exactly. So there's like journeys. There's like from point A to point B, and then you got to go point B to point Z, right? So at the end of the day, what you have to do is you have to do the active. So when I got started, I literally made a list, like physically, well, I used Google Docs, right? So I Google Doc list, and I was actively reaching out to these people.
Like how many people?
A day. So I had a goal to hit the top level of the company in 90 days, and I wanted to do that. So
Wow.
one of the top levels of the company in 90 days. And so to do that, I knew I needed to focus on the the activity, not the result. And so I made it a commitment to myself to do 2 to 5 presentations every day.
2 to 5 presentations personally, one-on-one?
Well, we just put people into a Facebook group.
Got
That
it.
was how that's how most presentations are going now. Like
Yeah.
a Facebook group, you put them in there, they watch a few videos.
We got to
and
talk
follow
about
up.
that.
Yeah. So my goal was to actively do that with 2 to 5 people a day.
Okay.
And so it didn't matter how many people I had to talk to make that happen. That was before I went to sleep. That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
And then
2 to
2 to 5 presentations a day. Yeah, and it depends on your goals. Like, it might be different for you, but whatever, that was mine.
How many days a week?
6.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, so I actively got in the trenches of either picking up the phone or Facebook messengering people and inviting them to take a look into one of these groups and then following up with them. I didn't use any of my content or my, passive, like I didn't wait for people to come to me. I never did that. I literally actively did the activity because I knew the goal that I had. And I also knew that if a new person comes in, I'm going to train them to do that exact same thing first. Why? Because it's the fastest way to a check.
Yeah.
Because if you wait for people to hop in the boat, like if you're waiting for the fish to hop into your boat and you're thinking, oh, it'll happen one day, and you're not actively doing your money-making activities
Right.
when you
So
get
good.
started, you're not going to make money. Plus, you're also not going to be respected as a leader because, you're waiting for people to come to you. You're not doing the things that you want your team to be doing. I didn't want to be a hypocrite and tell my team to do things that I didn't do. So in the beginning, that's exactly what I did. And then but if you, and I was talking to you guys earlier today, right?
Yep.
I was like, okay, if you have 2 hours a day to build your business, and here's how I time block everything. I'm like, okay, I've got from 7 to 8 a.m. That's one time block. And then maybe the other time block is maybe 7 to 8 p.m., right? Whatever your time blocks are. In that time block, I'm going to make sure that I have my money-making activities done first. What are they? 2 presentations a day, right? And then once I get that done, I can maybe do that in a half an hour or less. The other half an hour, I'm working on my content and passive marketing strategy. Facebook Lives, building content for the blogs, YouTube videos, building the brand up. But most people, when they get sold the promised land of passive online social media marketing, never talk to anybody, they'll just all come to you. They stop doing the active stuff, and then they're waiting. They're not getting the results that they're
So good.
they're here for, right?
So good.
So I never want to sell somebody a false promise or build an expectation that you can't deliver on.
Yeah.
You literally need to actively do the money-making activities in your business, which is building your list, inviting, presenting, closing, and following up, and then team building and training. You have to actively be doing that.
How long do you think you should stay in that phase of
Active?
active? And
Until you're
manually.
passive, yeah. So until you're passive can take that over. So until you're passive is bringing you enough people
Ooh,
where you
yes.
can do 2 to 5 presentations a
And
day.
what if someone comes
So
to you? What if 1 or 10 people or 100 people on your team come to you and say, I'm trying the active, I'm doing the presentations, Tanya, I'm meeting with people directly on social media, I'm manually connecting and building friends, I'm meeting people out and about, and it's just not working. I need to go get a blog.
Yeah.
I need to get my social media going.
Yeah.
I need to figure out how to get the passive going because the active's not working for me.
Yeah.
I need to switch over to do it. You're doing because that's the secret.
Yeah. So what I would say to that is you will spend so much time and money building up your brand, your blog, your content. And if you don't know how to close your leads and people, it's going to be a waste of time and money.
So good.
You need to get really good at closing people and talking to people and inviting them, because even when a lead comes to me, I'm very blessed, but I've been doing this for, since 2010 online. So do I need to actively go and talk to people out in the cold market? I don't anymore. But when somebody comes to me and they're like, hey, Tanya, I want to learn more about your network marketing company. I want to work with you. I still got to invite them. I've got to present to them. I've got to close and I've got to follow up. So if my skill set isn't there with practicing with the people that are already on my list, then the rest of it's just a waste of time.
So
and
good.
that's the honest truth. I know a lot of people maybe don't want to hear that, but that's the honest truth.
So good.
So you got to refine that skill of just the fundamentals, the basics of network marketing and sales and that, because it doesn't matter. You could have 50 people that have hopped in your boat, but if you don't know how to do anything with those people, then it's a waste, right? It's absolutely a waste.
Okay.
And the only way that you get better at doing it is just you practice, And it's funny, everyone's like, I just want to do like passive, I want to build, I want to talk to people, I just want everyone to come to me. Well, that's building your list, okay? People coming to you is building your list,
Yes.
right? But what if you already have a list sitting in front of you?
Yeah.
The average person has over 350 friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
You've got 350 people to work with. If you can't enroll or you can't recruit or you can't sell to those people sitting in front of you, it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter.
So good.
I didn't know to be honest, we didn't know what she was going to say. We know Tanya is one of the, if not the top attracting marketing, branding influencer in the marketing space that funnels into her teams. I hear a lot of people being traction marketers.
Yeah.
And then I find out behind the scenes that they're full-time coaches or they've not made money in network marketing anymore. So the reason why we have Tanya here is she's making a huge income in her team and a huge income in her marketing. She does coaching and branding and for selective people, which is really cool.
Yes.
Very selective type people who she coaches. So
Yes.
it's really good.
Totally. Yeah. I mean, it's important to get really good at the fundamentals and know, because otherwise you can just be a top recruiter instead of a top team builder. I know you guys are all about team, like building team.
Yeah.
You got to have the fundamentals to build team.
So
Otherwise,
good.
you're just recruiting, and you have no duplication. And where's your passive income? We're all here for passive income, right?
That's right. So good.
Yeah. So how many people, do you have a number of how many people you'd like to enroll, or you're at a point now where whatever happens, however many people you bring in.
That's a good question. So I go personally in phases. So we'll go on runs. And I'm gearing up for another 90-day run.
Yay.
I always just say focus on the activity, not the result. If you have a goal to make $500 or $1,000 a month, do a presentation a day. If you have a goal to hit top level of your company, do 2 to 5 presentations a day.
And explain that, break that down, because how do you do presentations? And what's the most effective method that you see in network marketing right now for what that word means, presentations to you?
Facebook groups.
Explain that.
So we have prospecting Facebook groups, one for product, and then we got a couple for product, but this year you have product. So product group, so if somebody's just interested in the product, you want to put them into the product group and tag them in a few videos, right? Tell them to watch the videos, and then make sure before you put them in the group, though, this is something that I adopted into my team because I noticed that there were some holes in the bucket. Before I add anybody to a presentation group, I always have a scheduled follow-up time with them as to when they'll watch the videos. So I always set that expectation. I'm like, hey, we've got this really awesome group on Facebook. It has over 150,000 people in it. It's really exciting. There's a few videos in there that you'll want to watch that'll explain everything that we do, the type of money we make, and then also you'll get good culture of our team in there. You can see all the excitement. It'll probably take you about 30 minutes to go through some of that information. How soon do you think you can do that? And I'll get you added to the group.
The product, that's product? Or both?
Either or, it's the same conversation.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll say, how soon do you think you can take a look? Oh, I can take a look tonight. I go, okay, great. I'm going to add to the group, and then what we're going to do is I'm going to follow up. I'm going to check in here, see what you like best, see if you see an opportunity for yourself tomorrow morning. And I do all this on Facebook Messenger now.
Wow.
So we don't do phone calls anymore. Facebook Messenger is kind of what we do.
Right on.
So it's easy because you can fit in like a quick 1-minute blip, like really fast during your day in between everything else that you're doing.
Yeah.
Then I add them to the group, and then I set a little like reminder inside Facebook Messenger for when we're gonna like meet. So it kind of reminds both of us, because I've forgotten to follow up with people before. Because when you're moving so fast, right? So and then I follow up, and I'm like, great. What did you like best about what you saw in the group?
And you're doing all this via text messenger.
Yeah, voice clips or
Does
text.
anybody on your team?
I didn't even know you could do that.
Does anybody on your team still connect with people on the phone if they can?
Sure, yeah, and I tell them, use the communication method that you guys are most accustomed to doing together if you know that person. And so, one of my top producers on my network marketing team is my neighbor. And so I went to her house and I said, hey, like, here's the deal. I painted that vision, right? And I was like, here's the deal. Here's where I'm going with this. It's going to be a big deal. I'd love to do this with you, but I'm going to do it with or without you.
Yeah.
Are you interested in learning more about what this looks like?
Yeah.
And I was at her house and she said, yeah, I'm interested in learning more.
So good.
And I did not get out my flip chart. Thank God.
Yeah.
I just put her in the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Because that was our system. So even though like offline, you can take it into the system online. And if I were to meet somebody cool at a coffee shop that I was like, I really want to work with this person, I would still get their number and I would still put them into our Facebook group and plug them into the
Love
system.
it.
So make sure, because what she just dropped the bomb of do not get off the phone or off of Messenger now. Don't send them until you get the commitment to follow up.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you do, you could spend another week or 2 weeks tracking them back down. You got to get the commitment up front.
Like, hey, did you watch the information? Oh no, the kids' life, everything. Oh, did you watch the information? No. And that happens to me too. Like it was happening to me. So I'm like, how do we close that gap? Like people
So
were
good.
not taking the information seriously. And I was like, I wasn't framing it seriously. It's
good.
my fault. I need to change that process up, tighten it
So
up.
what are some things that you say on Instagram to prompt? Do you go I like to call it the crock pot way or the microwave? Like, do you just go for it and say, hey, I'm expanding a new project, I noticed, blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
Or do you say, hey, how you doing? What kind of work do you do? Do you go
It depends. So basically, I'll do a little snooping on their profiles. This is active again.
snooping,
So
stalking, right?
snooping, stalking.
Hang on.
I'm a stalker.
We got to take a time out here. It's
Okay.
a time out break, and we got to do a parenting moment right now. Yes, we are live, but it's still important. Hey, girls. You sound beautiful, but can you keep it down a little bit back there? Okay, onward.
So I have kind of a 3-step process. So it's like, snoop on them a little bit, figure out if you have anything in common where you can start the
So
conversation.
it's not random.
No.
I mean, you're really kind of focusing on who you might want to work with.
Yeah,
It's good.
of course. Yeah, and so you might see somebody leave like a really awesome, amazing comment in a group and it was positive and you're like, I really like that person. I want to connect with them and see what they're doing.
Facebook or Instagram or both?
So there's a strategy that I teach.
Uh-oh.
I don't know. These guys are ready for it.
Are we ready for it?
So here's what I will say.
See, we didn't get her a glass of wine before she came
I
here.
know.
We get all the good stuff.
How many of you guys want to move like fast in your network
If
marketing
you want to move
business?
fast and you're watching right now on YouTube or wherever you're watching this from, type in fast below. We want to go back and watch the
Because
comments.
like there's a slow way to build and then there is a freaking fast
Woo,
way to build.
okay, let's go.
Come on.
Get
And
into the
so
good
we
stuff.
want to go fast, right?
Yes.
You guys are fast builders when you guys were building, right?
That's
Yep.
right.
So do you know what I'm going to say?
No.
So I want Tom
You
to
got
guess.
me.
I want Tom to guess. Okay, like somebody comes to you and says, Tom,
Yes.
I want to crush out this network marketing thing and I want to do it in 12 months, not 36. What would you tell me what's one thing that comes to mind you would be like, okay, do this because this will get you there fast? Any idea? Putting Tom on the spot.
Well,
you guys.
the one thing for me is the only thing is to give yourself 1 year to do only one thing. Your apps just hit
We got
to do your best at enrolling the highest quality people that you possibly can in the time frame that you can work your business based on your skill and your influence.
Yep.
And then plug them into a system that's better than you. And that's what we teach.
Yeah, so I love that you said that, high quality people, okay? Because that's exactly what I was gonna say, influencers. Influencers will get you to where you wanna go fast.
Boom.
Okay, so here's what you do. And I've seen this happen and this is crazy, okay? So what I would do, let's say you're in a health and wellness company, right?
Okay.
And you're selling health and wellness stuff.
Yep.
What I would do is I would find the top health and wellness bloggers and YouTubers out there. And here's how I'd have that conversation. Here's exactly how I'd have this conversation with them. I would reach out to them and just say,
DM.
yeah, and typically like on their YouTube channel, you start liking some of their videos, watch some of their videos, get a feel for what it is that their mission and values are. So you can actually have a high level conversation with them. So it's going to take a little bit of work there. However, you are going to be working smarter, not harder, okay? So
good.
I would go after and I would start a conversation. And typically like on your YouTube or on their YouTube channel or on their blog, there's a contact tab. So you'd find a way to send them a message on social media. Like, where would they check the message the fastest? Probably their Instagram or probably their Facebook Messenger, okay? So what I would do is I would do your homework on them.